Awesome, amazing, productive, all of that and more. So tonight we're going to get into another one of the multiple geodes. So far I've done this in a pre-recorded sped up video where I did many smaller multiples of geodes. So what I learned from this, we're going to do into this one today. So as you can see, I've created, where can I put you? See how these ones are quite small, whereas on this piece of Yupo, I have created them larger. And that way I feel like I'll have a little bit more room in there to create the patterns and whatnot. So live chat. Okay. Now I can see if anyone comes in to say hello and if there are any questions in the chat box. And hello, Mum. How's it going? All right, so the colours we have are Senorita Magenta, and this is Senorita Magenta, although it looks really fluoro, doesn't it? Really diluted. And then we have the Burrow Brown for the outer edge, as well as some rich gold, which is right at the end of the bottle. So I've just added some plain isopropyl alcohol into the bottle, and so that's going to be diluted as well, the rich gold. So I just have to make sure that I keep shaking it up and get it loosening up what's on the bottom through that alcohol before I use it. Also, I have 2 cups here, and these have plain isopropyl alcohol in it. And this one is for kind of like washing off the brush, and this one is for alcohol that I'm using to help with the pattern design. So that's why I have 2. There's only a small amount in them. Yeah, so that's what we have there. I have a smaller brush than last time as well. I used this one in the purple one. So now that we've got the narrower, smaller brush for this one. What else did I learn? Okay, so the lines here that you can see, this is Yupo paper. And the green lines that you can see have been created with the fine line masking fluid pen. So I love this. It's got a super fine tip. Let's just show you. I did try and do this on a Facebook Live and did it on the wrong account. So I was going to add it into my Tracy Creating group as a little extra video. So super fine. And it's even got this little pin here that goes inside the tip to help keep it open, like from clogging in that super fine tip. So that's this one. All right, I think I've been through everything. So now that we've done that, we'll say welcome to Tracy Creating. I am Tracy, and throughout this video, may you be inspired, learn something new, or simply relax while you're watching. So we're going to start off with some outer edges. So we'll use the Burrow Brown. I will get some different alcohol inks soon and change up some of the colours. I would like to find a darker brown. Excuse me. I would also like to find a berry colour, which was a request from one of my previous alcohol ink. I can't even get this gold open. Oh yeah, I can. One of my previous alcohol ink lives, somebody who watched the replay asked for berry as one of the colours, because I asked for suggestions on colours that people might like to see. So yeah, that'd be nice. And then okay, there we go. All right, so they're all uncapped now, ready to go. Okay, so just put a tiny bit of alcohol on the brush and just push that up to the masking fluid. Now I really feel that because I already have this on my brush, I might just also do a couple more of the outer edges, and it will partially reactivate as well when we are adding in the pink or the magenta. Push it up to the masking fluid. So as I mentioned previously, this idea was initially inspired by Erica from Artist Till Death, and she did it was more dimensional because she did it with what was it, hot glue, to create the lines around each one. And I felt that because I'm doing it on Yupo paper, something that's still very thin and a little bit flexible, I thought I'll try it with the masking fluid and see what I think. Colour that one. Colour all of these in the outer dirt colours. The outer edge colours sounds nicer. Because that will help when I go through later and fill in the lines. Another bit over here. Yeah. With some gold. All right. Dipping my brush again just to get a little bit more alcohol on there. This kind of pushes the burrow brown and the gold together, and also pushes it because of the alcohol on there towards that masking fluid. So we're getting to the point where everything is looking like it's been edged with the darker colour. And just down here, so we have this bit that we'll put down there, that up there, and then, all right, so now we can move and go into the actual colouring. So I'll clean that off. There we go. Is the masking fluid raised? It is a little bit. So it's not a huge big barrier like you would have if you had hot glue, but it is still raised up off the surface. So, all right, let's look at now going into our colour. So the scenery to magenta. Let's go in here. And it depends on which way you want to shape the colours of your geode. So you can go with the round or with the partial or even as though it's been cut. So let's go around here. So half of my brush is pushing into the magenta. So you can see I had a stronger colour in this section than I did in this section. So I'll just go over that again. Pretty much following the lines that have already been created. Washing that off so that when I come back to it with a little bit of just plain alcohol now, so half and half again, whatever I pick up, you can see that there's lines being created there. So then we'll just let that go, let it sit and see how it looks. Right, I've got another bit here. And it depends too, if you want a really strong colour, like you try and leave it as this straight colour from the bottle, or you get the diluted colours like they are over here. Just fanning it to help it dry a little. So this one I feel like just reactivating a little and pulling it out in a line. Just a slight bit more on the brush. I love that strong edge right there. That looks cool. I want to leave that if I can. So as this is drying off, we'll come back to it and swipe out some colours. So while we have a little bit on the brush, we'll add it over here to this section, following the lines, filling in, making sure there's no gaps in between. I'll clean it off this time and then come back with just a tiny bit on the end of the brush and do the pick up colours by brushing over the outer edge and down. So we'll come back to that one as well. So I currently have a tiny little bit of isopropyl on my brush. So this is where we can come back to this section and create lines. Just retouching around that edge. You can see there that I was pretty much just using the tip here section to pull up the alcohol ink that's already on the surface to create that effect. So we'll come back to that again. Excuse me. Okay. So let's look at this really diluted version here. So I'll pop that up here, crossing over into that line of the burrow brown and the gold. And this time, once it's all covered, playing again with the lines in a kind of shape that follows what's already down. So like here, you'll be able to see this one clearer. You can see where it's starting to dry, it looks purple. And when you do this and the alcohol pushes it out, it creates these lines. So that's fun. All right. So we might go for a bit of a gritty, if that's the right word, with extra gold in it. Let me just shake that. All right, extra gold. Sinew to magenta. Nice and strong colours in this one. It'd be nice to leave a really strong colour on the corner instead of usually it fades out. So that would be nice to keep. Adding a gold in there. Just going to wash that off and run this through the gold because there are a few sections where it's thin. Making sure that the entire Yupo paper in that section is completely covered. This is something that's also like extremely relaxing. If you haven't tried this or tried alcohol inks, it's worth giving them a shot for sure. Okay. Let's see how much is on the brush. So just softening up this inner edge of the burrow brown. We do the browns and the gold on the outside because when you find a geode, it's actually like a rock on the outer edge outside until it's cracked open and that beautiful crystals are exposed. we'll just come back down to this one while these things have a bit of a moment to catch their breath, breathe a little. Run some more lines through, whether it's pushing it away, removing a bit of colour, or just adding some back in. Could also be one of the reasons to come back and go over it. But I think this one's pretty much set after this. Try and do some really fast, light swipes. All right. I'll transfer what's on the brush over here again. There we go. And in here. So just overlooking it now and going, okay, this area has too much light color, let's add in a dark line. Or this area has too much dark, let's lighten it up a little. So you can do that, add the dark line by directly using it from the bottle, adding it that way, or with the brush from the bottle, or by using the plain isopropyl alcohol with the brush to help lift away some color. So yeah, reactivating the color and lifting it away with the brush. So a little bit on the brush, and I'm just going to do some more in this corner. To lift a line through here. See, I'm reactivating that. Okay. Wipe it off. Get some fresh color again. Isopropyl alcohol, I mean. And it will push it out to the edge. Okay, so now we'll come over to here and finish this one. I feel like this one needs some really bold lines as well. So we may see about running through the edge of this. Is reactivating where it already was and laying down some softer color. In here. In this middle section, I want to have a look at putting down drops and seeing how it pushes out. Another thing you can do is use some paper towel. I will use the back of this and just tap it up to pick up some of the colour. You can see that that's created that area where it's pushed it out, but then we've lifted up some of that inner colour, so that's cool. All right, just try and use a little bit on the edge of the brush. Push it out some more. So I'm actually going to get some more from the cup. Spread it out some more. Just let it sit for a moment, and then I'm going to dab it up again. This one here, fill in those sections that still have the white of the Yupo. I don't actually want that in the geodes. And so for that area, I do believe that is completed at this point. Ta-da! Looking good. Love the pastel. So you like the lighter versions? Okay. There's a blank spot down there. Alrighty. So I'm just going to put a little bit of heat onto this to encourage anything that's left over that I've missed to dry just a little bit more. So this is the Crafter's Choice. This is from Spotlight, so it's a heat tool for embossing. So that's just that little bit extra. I know that you can still, you really can't see, you can't notice where the edge of the paper is because of all the extra that I used to go off the sides. So it's a natural flow off the sides and you don't see that chunky blob where it ends type thing. So let's have a look. See what the back looks like. Yeah, there we go. So this is just what's this stuff? Corrugated. You know that plastic corrugate, like cardboard, but it's plastic. So now you can see where the ends of it are. And there you go. But yeah. So I think the next step I will put into a pre-recorded video. So we've already hit our 30-minute mark, and yeah, so I thought we might be able to get through a bit more, but we didn't. So yeah, so the next step will be to protect the alcohol ink. We'll spray it with this Krylon UV Archival varnish, but the matte. Okay, if you use the gloss or anything like that, I haven't done it personally, but my understanding is it can reactivate the alcohol ink, and it could shift. So this is the safest option to go with the matte. So depending on if you're in a time crunch, you could just do one really nice coat over it all and encourage it to dry with a bit of a fan or like hairdryer, heat tool. Not too much though. You don't want to push the limits of how much you can heat up your art piece. So just be wary of that. You're just encouraging that little bit extra of dryness to happen. Following that, we'll remove the masking fluid and then use, these are metallic pens. I pulled them all out because I wanted to see which one might go best with it. So we may check out the gold for this one, because we did the copper on the purple, and that one is a silver, which I think may look nice on a blue. So and then I just pull out my white Posca markers to create some lines. So I'll do all that in another video for it. It'll just be a quick one. I've already got the purple one up, so this one. And I love the lines where the masking fluid was removed. So I'm going to continue using that as my style for this technique. So there we go. All right, so thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for watching the replay. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed or learned something or just relaxed while watching, any of those. And also leave me a comment below about possibly doing, what do you think would go nice with the silver? Do you agree with the blue? Or perhaps another suggestion that you may have. And yeah, so, and share the video with others who may also appreciate it. That'd be amazing. And yeah, so with that, take care. It is important because you are important. So thank you so much. Good night from Oz. Yeah, absolutely. Good night to you. Thanks for being here. And yeah, be kind, be creative, and be fabulous. Bye.